Why do so many Indians leave the country? Should we be worried? Two recent headlines caught my attention. One headline said more than $8,000 millionaires are leaving India in 2022. The other headline said 6.5 lakh Indian students are going abroad for studies in 2022. When you read such headlines, you're naturally worried. But when I looked at it closely, I realized there's nothing unusual about it. In this video, I'll share 3 reasons why this kind of migration happens and why we need not be worried at all. Watch on. Reason number 1 why people migrate is to look for better economic or financial opportunities for themselves. If you see within India itself, there's migration that happens from rural areas to big urban centers like Mumbai, Delhi, Kolkata, Hyderabad, Bangalore, Chennai, etc. because they think they can earn more money and make a better life for themselves. This happens at a global level. People from poorer countries move to US, Canada, UK, Australia, etc. for the same reason. One of the most famous recent examples is the massive migration that happens from South America, Central America to the United States, and which is when Trump tried to build that famous wall to prevent illegal migration. The same economic reason applies for richer people in a slightly different way. Rich people move to countries like Dubai or Singapore because they think income tax rates are lower there and therefore they can retain more of their money. But I would not worry about this aspect about the richer people, because a recent report by Henley Partners says India is producing so many new millionaires at the same time that a few thousand leaving is actually not going to make a dent. And therefore, I would say reason number 1, economic and financial opportunity is something that we can naturally understand, and that's reason number 1. Reason number 2 for migration is that people want sometimes to escape from political or religious persecution. For example, during the Ukraine-Russia war, a lot of young people from Russia wanted to migrate and escape because they didn't want to be forcibly pulled into the army. You hear similar stories about China, for example. When Xi Jinping becomes more dictatorial, a lot of Chinese then want to leave Hong Kong, leave China and go to other places. In a small way, this happened when Donald Trump first got elected in 2016. The number of Americans who started searching for possibilities of moving to Canada actually shot up, and for a short period of time that number actually grew. The other aspect of this is religious persecution. Over the last century or so, there has been large-scale migration of the Jews, for example, from large parts of Europe all the way to Israel because they wanted to be in a place where they could be safe and not be persecuted. So political and religious persecution is the second reason that migration happens. People want to be in a safer place, they don't want to be persecuted, and that's why migration happens. That's my reason number 2. Reason number 3 for migration is, funnily speaking, weather. For example, for a long time people have been attracted to the pleasant year-round weather in Bangalore, and therefore people want to come and live in Bangalore. We've seen in more recent times that because of pollution, a lot of people want to leave bigger cities and go to places like Goa, Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh. I know of a family who actually moved to Pondicherry for the same reason. People want to breathe cleaner air and live in an environment where pollution is very, very low. And as climate change comes more and more central to people's thinking, this trend is likely to get accelerated further. In the US, it plays out slightly differently. The weather aspect, people want to move from colder places to warmer places like Florida, for example, which is why Florida gets a lot of older people particularly who don't want to tolerate cold weather in the place that they originally lived in. So this is my reason number 3, weather as the third reason for migration. So there are 3 reasons why people migrate. Reason number 1 is for better economic and financial prospects. Reason number 2 is to go to a safe place to escape religious or political persecution. And reason number 3 is weather. But the good news is that migration is a natural phenomenon that has historically happened over centuries, and therefore there's nothing unusual, nothing to be worried about. But more important for India is that we are now seeing the possibility of the reversal of this migration. Just last week, I was attending a wedding in Delhi and I met this friend who was my classmate at IIT. I was meeting him after 39 years. He left India right after his BTech for further studies in US and then settled down there. And when he met me this time, he was actually jealous of all of us who chose to stay back in India. Because when he sees all around progress, the better infrastructure, the economic growth, the opportunities here, he actually candidly admitted that India is the best place to live in right now. And we see this all around us. As our country becomes more prosperous, as our country becomes a place with better infrastructure, tax policies become friendly, people will want to come back. And that is indeed great news. Our economic liberalization, our IT boom, our startup boom, all those have helped, and I think this will continue to happen, and we will see many more proud Indians who settled abroad wanting to come back. Personally, for me, when I graduated from my BTech in IIT Kanpur in way back in the 80s, 80% of my batch went abroad because there were very few opportunities in India. I decided I would stay back in India, although there was a great deal of family pressure, but I resisted and I said I will stay back in India. And I'm so glad and proud of my decision that India is the place of the future, the place of promise, and I've never regretted that a single day. And I sincerely believe that although migration has been happening, newspaper headlines talk about it, there's nothing unusual about it. In fact, I would see a reverse trend happening over a period of time. So let's all be proud to be an Indian and make it happen.